as you say, probably the most efficient spy player of all time. Didn't do any of this waiting around behind for a good timing. He was pretty much holding W the entire time he was on the class.
This is what the thing is, right? Cloak and Dagger, boring. It's a boring weapon. Don't use it. Go hard, go home. You know? Thomas went hard. He got the frag. That's how you do it. So, 2-round advantage back in the hands of 4Toast. They're looking pretty happy. Still only halfway through this map. They'll be going into this next mid right now. Air shots being hit, but players are getting fragged. 4Toast. They're forcing. Oh my god. Yeah, no, they're getting forced all the way towards low. They're taking so much damage as well. This is very nice right now. Ora Elektro looking pretty good. They need to just be aware of these remaining 2 players. Do not let them onto Trum. Whatever happens, Happy. He's going to be 16 HP. He can't even jump with that.
Ron's managed to get such a clean rocket onto Domo. There was literally 2 bodyguards right in front of Domo, and it just narrowly squeezes above their head and finds the medic. Credo still hiding behind. Might go for version 2 of the world's saddest backcap here. Yeah, he just touches the point for a millisecond, but everyone's already on second, mate.
I'll be honest, I think they're just going to go to last. I don't think they really care too much about the backup right now. They've got a fat advantage.
Domo's on Fritz Krieg defense also.
Is he? That's brave. Okay, Eames jumping on in and be dealing with this gun fairly quickly, moving towards his right-hand side. 80% now on the old defensive crits, but the time is starting to come in. This is looking pretty solid right now. Yeah, that's just a clinical little push there for work.
Yeah, Credo doesn't even get into the fight.
Dude's just on second, just living his own life.
I think touching the mid back cap there, like even trying it was a huge mistake. Obviously you get the announcer screaming in your ear that the control point is being contested, and from there, Ora know how easy it's going to be on last. They know there's a maximum of 5 people back there. Credo's probably not even going to get in the fight in time. And it is now 3-2.
Yeah. Another mid. This is just a game of, more and more mids right now.
This is on Putis.
Oh, of course he is. Of course he is. I mean, it is a very, very wide open kind of mid. Sometimes you can just stand around, play the old heavy class, and just be annoying. Looks like it's kind of working so far. Pappy doing the work of 2 soldiers by himself because he is Pappy and he very much can do that. Getting that jump in. They've done so much damage to a lot of these players. Eames does eventually go down. Gets the longest spawn I've seen in recent memory. 23 seconds. And the rest of Ora Elektro, they just don't really have any business in mid now.
Yeah, but they've swapped sides, so they need to use this Uber to get out of their own kind of prison here. They do eventually. They drop Domo! Huge shot from Nevo, and suddenly it all turns around. They're getting all the frags off the back of that. Yeehaw's gonna go down, but it's 4v3, and they have heals on their side. They can just get Rons and Hugo buffed back up here, and it should be pretty confident for them, but there is a back cap, 2 scouts and a demo on the job. Neo, also gonna flank Eames and finds a free Trum. Everyone's left him all alone, but he's beefing his shots. Trum,
oh my god, what? Dude just doesn't take damage, just running around on 1 HP, and there's no one even aware that he's there. This is disgusting scout gameplay we're seeing right now. It's horrible.
The sheer difference between Credo doing everything on 1 HP and Neo missing about 9 shots on a medic with no one to defend him. That's hilarious, but end of the day, it comes out with all cards looking like 4Toast. They have this 50% advantage here, might even be able to just dry push into second before they even get it up. It's being played very, very passively by Ora.
Yeah, so far, they are starting to take a little bit of spam right now. Thomas goes down to 20 HP, but yeah, it's all about the positioning right now, and Ora Elektro nowhere able to defend. Second towards last though, 70% on the side of Trump. Uber has been used left-hand side. This is going to be Lucas with a big old bomb. They're just going to walk into spawn right now, so possibly opens things up to just start playing towards the point. Captime is starting to come in with Hugo going down. That's 1 less soldier to play towards the point. Heavy once again being annoying. Uber is in the hands of Trump. It is going to get used. These players, yep, one after another now. This might be a great opportunity to chase all the way towards Domo, but he's just about slipping out through main. He's got to get towards
still hot on his heels from lower. Oh, he gets the pack. I think he's safe. Lucas is going to die for it, but that's absolutely worth it to save his medic's life. Get Domo all the way out of there. Just delay with your own death to kind of sandbag for Domo. Ron's bombing through into mid, wants no slowing down. He does lose his life, and they don't really get anything for it. I guess Eames now does get Credo. They're ready to come into mid. And they do find Thomas as well, so this is pretty nice. They should be able to comfortably get... In fact, never mind, scrap that. Domo's ready to come hot and fast through lower. They use off the Uber, but there's not much... Oh, they do actually get very deep with it. Never mind.
Oh, Tron disconnects from his scout for just a second. I don't know whether they thought they could just stay in, but they get punished massively there. Literally, every single Ora Elektro player is going to go down. Everyone on the side of 4Toast is just going to be happy right now. That is a huge miscalculation.
Yeah, I miscalculated too. I thought there was enough distance, but the 96% death is going to haunt them, as this round is just an absolutely free cap on last now. 4-2 is the score to 4Toast, and there's 10 minutes left on the game with Aura's kind of most confident map pick. Obviously, as I keep saying, they get a round of picks before anyone can even ban anything, so Ora were pretty keen to take them to this map, and it's not looking great so far.
No, not really. There is still a lot to work with, though. It is just a few very significant mistakes on the side of Ora. This time, we're playing towards this right-hand side on mid. Lucas doing huge damage, as per usual. Trum's gone down. Yeah, this is going to be player after player falling now. This is absolutely fantastic stuff on the side of 4Toast. They're playing so far back. Ooh, Hugo somehow manages to get in and at least have some kind of redeeming feature to that mid. It is still going to go to the way of 4Toast, but I don't know how he possibly got onto Doma.
Yeah, I mean, it's a redeeming feature of the mid for sure, but I don't think it's enough when you're 4-2 down. You want to be getting more convincing fights in. And oh my god, Thomas finds Trum. How? He's just solo sacking into a lobby full of 6 players and gets Trum. That is ridiculous. It's gone from bad to worse for Ora here. They're going to end up on their own last. Surely Domo's going to be taking this one in. They can just chip damage all these players down. They're going to have to get back eventually if their health goes low. Trum has now spawned, able to start walking forwards. Pappy's just kind of got some space, but no one's walking through behind him. He baits a bomb in from Ron's, but... they kind of took a very long time not really deciding what they're doing and then losing players to it.
Yeah, I mean, I also will shout out the fact that I think Lucas did miss everything on a soldier, which is a little bit sad. Uber has now been used. Neo trying to make the absolute play right now, and he's got a scout buddy. And once again, he did walk a different way to his scout and Evo there, so they're going to get caught regardless. Doesn't mean anything. These players on the back lines. Hugo getting a frag might not actually matter too much. It's good that it's on Lucas, but 4Toast could possibly just go all the way towards last, because there's only now one player coming up. It is Eames. We're seeing Hugo try and get a frag. He doesn't even get all the way and manage to do it, and now suddenly players are going to be on the point. This is going to come down to... so close, and he spawns, and yeah, they're just going to cap it out.
Yeah, I mean, really easy for 4Toast there. There was 4 players dead and 2 players behind. What are you going to do but press W? That was really weird from Ora, kind of going into mid. Like, so what if you have 2 frags? If you forget that the other medic has ad, he's just going to pop it in your face and punish you for it. And so he did. Domo getting about 4 frags with that Uber and just able to run it all the way forwards to last after Ora committed too hard on mid. So we're again into a mid fight here. Immediately Lucas getting destroyed by about 3 players right up in his face, but the counter bombs do come in now. Eames and Yeehor going down for the side of Ora Elektro. Things kind of evening out. Everyone on their own side, but the crunch just destroys Ora. Only Ron's left alive.
Yeah. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen today. I appreciate how long Ron's lived there, but ultimately was pretty pointless. These mids, they're just looking too good for Toast. It's so difficult. You know, people say in TF2, like, the easiest way to just string together rounds is just to have good mids, right? Like, you can kind of not be that great at every other portion of the map, but if you just win mid and have Uber advantage, it just makes the game so much easier. And that's what it feels like, you know, 4Toast is doing. Not that they're bad on the rest of the map, but just the fact they're winning like every mid like this, they just seem like they're always playing their own game.
Yeah, and they do take this. Uber forwards onto last once again. Sentry gun does go down now. Pappy locking the left-hand side, but he gets bombed by Rons. No one has died for Ora once again, and they collect 4 frags.
Okay, this is a real opportunity right now. 5 minutes 30 on the clock. If there's a chance for a huge momentum swing for Ora Elektro, it's got to start right now. They do deny at least a couple spawners right now. It is 85% on the side of Trump. They can't really wait for this Uber advantage. They need to start walking in as much as they physically can. Hugo might be in a nice little position to catch onto Lucas here. Yep, combining with Yeehor. That's very nice. Avoiding using the Uber is going to be so important, and it does look like they've managed to do exactly that, picking up both the soldiers as well. So this is huge advantage, huge player advantage as well, and they should be able to deal with a sniper. Yeah, keep on moving. That's going to be the game for Ora Elektro right now.
This is such a great coast-to-coast opportunity. 4 picks, no one dying, no force. They do get the opportunity to use this should they want to, but they'll need to find Domo fast. In fact, they're just kind of taking left side for free, getting 2 frags. Bombing forwards, now playing the point. The Uber hasn't come out from either side yet, and they force Domo. This is perfect if they can escape here, or even just use the better Uber. They do now take it forwards. It's only onto Nevo, though. No one really has the opportunity to cap the point. It's kind of all unlucky timing at the end of the day for Ora. They just had no one to use that Uber onto, had to use it on the Scout. And if you're using on the Scout's not capping the point. And if the Scout's not capping the point, you're not winning the round.
Yeah, that's... I don't know, that didn't look clean. That didn't look good for them at all. Now we're actually seeing the push out with Credu on Pyro. Makes it so annoying this time. Okay, no, Hugo's just like, oh fine, I won't shoot the Pyro, I'll deal with the Scout instead. But even still, Thomas is showing he's good for it as well. Look at him go.
Yeah, a huge 4K from Thomas, just picks the perfect time to bomb in and shoot some rockets down at some people who are all in a corner. Very nice. Runs in with a huge sack, gets it onto Domo, so everything is still possible for Ora, but I mean, there's just so little time. They really need this immediately, and with how the mid-fights have been going, I don't trust that they have a chance at all here.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. This is just, I don't know, it is an absolute rock and a hard place right now. They do have this big old advantage. They do have an opportunity just to get, you know, second complete for free. They might even be able to get Credu here. Still 95% on the side of Trump. They can't really drop any players here. Like you say, they need to be able to move forward. Oh, Thomas is directly behind them on the fly. He has been seen. Okay. Thank God for that. Uber is going to get used all the way top left. As per usual, they're not able to take the same space as before, but gun has been dealt with. Stickies everywhere, all over the point. That's going to make things really annoying for them. They are starting to get the time, though. Great damage towards point as well. It is going to be this delay, but have managed to get that cap. 2 minutes 40 on the clock for 2 rounds. I think the maths checks out, but just only.
Yeah, the math checks out. If Trum never dies again this map, the math checks out. And with what's been going down on mid, I don't trust that at all. Even if Domo and Trum both live and 4Toast just drag these out to be not instant win mid-fights, it's going to be so difficult for Ora to get a foot in the door here. The bombs are coming forwards, huge ones from Runs and Hugo, and they get all the frags they wanted, but they need to keep their own mid alive. Trum's going to go down. In fact, the frags even look better for 4Toast right now. Hugo's going to find Neo on the flank. Rons and Hugo now versus Toe and Credu. And I think it's over.
Yeah, that's going to be at 1 minute 50 left on the clock. Credu feels it as though he's like, well, you tried, buddies. You gave it your all, but this map is not going to be going your way whatsoever. So, second map of our best of 5 series, reckon, is going to go the way of 4Toast as well. So, they're going to be 2 maps up in this series. Still, it is possible for Ora Elektro to come back, but they need just such a clean sweep at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tricky one. If I remember correctly, it's another one of their map picks up next due to how the swapping around works. Yeah, there's Snakewater up next, which is Aura's map as well. Okay. But they really need it at this point, obviously. I mean, it's their elimination game after this. And it's going to be heartbreaking to come out of the upper bracket final as the victor and then not get a single map when it comes to grand finals. They really need to turn it around.
This is just like, I don't know, this is just like airshot frag video time. Lucas just hitting the pines. You know, he's nutty. Credu, on his main class, he always said, you know, people joke about Credu being like a sniper main. He's not. His main class is heavy. He'll occasionally off-class a sniper, and then scout is also, I don't know, somewhere in the mix. That's it. Alright, GG's have been called officially. 30 seconds left on the clock. I want to see one more enormous air shot before the game ends.
Yeah, it's possible. I think we can get our eyes on Thomas. Definitely no spoilers from our cheat feed here.
He's jumping. He's getting... Oh, it's a huge air shot! And he doesn't even get the frag!
Yes, he does. He gets the trade. A huge trade. MVP of the map for sure.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Massive congratulations for Thomas for winning that map single-handed.
But yeah. All said and done, this is another win for 4Toast already in the grand finals, taking the 2-0 lead. Ora's map pick of Snakewater up next, but you know, it's definitely worrying to not be 1-1 at this point. We'll let the Meerkat and the DuMmTm break down exactly what happened and look at some little stats for you.
Thank you, Mr. Freeze. Yeah, that was a very turbulent map there. It was sort of unfortunate not to see Ora take it. It was their pick after all, but they certainly did have some moments of glory there. I particularly enjoyed seeing Hugo and Ron's, particularly at sort of the apex of that game, just absolutely storming over their mids, holding W, and they really did create a lot of space for their team there. So again, yet another interesting map, but 4Toast, they're 2 up now.
I mean, it started off fairly decent for Ora in the sense that they were able to slow down for a little while, maybe found themselves down on positioning a little bit for a little while there, and had to fend off some clutch last pushes as well. But they managed to do so, slowed them down quite a bit from there. But 4Toast still just reached this inevitable point of just being able to just play their really, really confident, aggressive playstyle they really want to have going. And Ora just cannot do enough to slow it down. Be it on mid fights, eventually they looked better, I guess, but outside of that as well, just a lot of small mistakes just over and over again for Ora piling up. And over time, they just couldn't deal with it. And 4Toast just was able to play the game the way they want to. And that is exactly not what you would like to see as their opponent here.
Yeah, they were constantly strangled by 4Toast. As soon as they got, their 1-round advantage, their 2-round advantage, and then eventually that 3-round advantage, they could just play with such confidence that they just became so much more dominant, and their momentum just picked up more and more so. And it did put Ora in a really awkward position, and sort of at the halfway point, Ora really acknowledged that they had to put their foot down on the gas and just try and pile forward. It didn't come good, but they did pick up a couple of rounds, which is sort of a display of ability. So I suppose on the back of that, we should have a little look again at these map 2 logs.
Yeah, I mean, you already pointed out the soldiers on Ora Elektro here had an incredible game, right? You see the kills. The only people matching that is the scouts on the other side, which comes to much less of a surprise, I suppose. If anything, it comes, I guess, to a bit of a difference here on how you approach the map, right? A lot more scout focus in terms of 4Toast, and Ora Elektro just, like you mentioned, having these huge bombs, trying to be the haymakers for the team, try to change things around here. But if you do weird things they aren't ready for, like the heavy to mid, they just so awkwardly had to adjust to, for example, and just put a huge wrench in their plans with that, you just counterplay them completely. They will not be able to come to fruition.
Yeah, that heavy was certainly a little bit off the wall, but it's one of those things you sort of love to see. But yeah, dropping an absolute bomb are the scouts of 4Toast, as you'd expect, and really sort of dominating the space that Ora were trying to take, especially when the momentum was sort of pent up in their favor. And if we look at the medic stats as well, we're seeing there's just a 1 death differential, which certainly a lot better than the 10-2 we saw between Trum and Domo last time around. So certainly meant that Ora were in the driving seat just a little bit more, and were able to pile forward, get a bit of momentum behind them at times, but ultimately it didn't come good for them this map.
Yeah, I think once again it was just a really, really tough early game for Trum. They just don't want this man to have a fun game tonight, and they're succeeding in that, I suppose, more often than they're not on 4Toast, and just make damn sure that they get the most of that. By the end of it, obviously, Ora caught a bit of wind here, was able to slow things down and maybe get their own plays going a bit more here to make the match stats look a lot more even in the end. But the early lead, once again, just coming so strong for 4Toast here. And if the Ora catches up a little bit, it doesn't matter if it's just not enough by the end of it. And it just makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, of course, we are going into yet another map that is Ora's pick. It's going to be Snakewater. And we touched on last time around how important those sort of early rounds are to Ora Elektro, and 4Toast just got 2 on the board really, really rapidly there, and it put them in a really awkward spot right from that get-go, and they just could not sort of pick up the pace of the game and control the pace of the game enough to sort of drive it all the way forward and sweep it in the other direction. So they're going to hope to correct that on Snakewater. But what do you think they should really be looking at to improve?
They never get the good start, right? They always are starting on the back foot here, always like really unsure, and I think that's really, really crucial here. 4Toast in everything they're doing just feels so second nature, so confident in anything they're doing here this match so far. It seems so easy for them, and Ora just seems to be struggling a lot more to just get the ball rolling. Really needs to just have their comms sorted, have the main call sorted as well. Just the one play to go for, just confidently be the correct one, and even if it isn't, you just go for the next one again as the right one, even if it might not be. You just gotta double down on it, and I think that's struggling for them right now, really. They just second guess themselves too much, and it really shows. They just have such tame plays a lot of the time.
Exactly. As soon as you're on the back foot and you're put in that uncomfortable position where you've really got to shift the playstyle you're going through with for the entire season, and you've got to play with confidence in the grand finals of all things. And of course, we have touched on a couple of these players were debutants last season, so it's a tremendous amount of pressure and a phenomenal opportunity for these players. But they've just got to keep it cool and try and just play their game.
Yeah, especially for Rons, who didn't even get to play the playoffs yet up until this game here. His team just got him grand finals, and now he is the one that has to even things out.
Then.
Basically, while the other soldier that did play doesn't even have time today. Hugo steps in obviously once again here, and I don't know. I mean, obviously it's all fun and games if you joke around on Twitter and just say, "Oh no, how did I make grand finals? I didn't play." But maybe there is in fact real nerves here altered by Rons as well, and it's just getting to him a little bit. Certainly had a good map, but not enough of it in the end. And Snakewater's the map. Both teams were confident enough to let me picked this late into the map picking as well. No one had to ban it, of course. No one really loved it more than anything else to pick it outright. Or just had basically the free choice of what to pick at this point in the map picking process here. Snake certainly one you can get away with a lot of soldier plays. Maybe something they like here as well. But the Skulls are playing as well as they are, then you really will have the more fun time, I would suppose.
Yeah, we're always used to seeing Ora as a very well-coordinated team, and the soldiers really phenomenal at making the space. And Hugo's been filling that role really, really comfortably as well. So again, hoping they can pull out the bag. Of course, both these teams banned the week one maps that they were a bit ropey on. They banned Process, they banned Granary. So you would think that the pair of them would be sort of perhaps a little bit more comfortable. We've only been playing like sort of the French pug map and two other pug maps, so it shouldn't be too much of a strain. They've just got to really be quite decisive about their game plan here, drive it through, and hopefully Ora can put a map on the board and make this a bit more interesting.
Yeah, the pressure's on now. We talked about the pressure already being here for the players in general for this game, but it's a do or die now for Ora Elektro here. This is a best of 5, so you win 3. You win the match. They have to do the impossible sounding anyway. The free map comeback. I can't remember last time I've seen it. I'm sure it happened before in recent memory at least, but it's gonna be difficult mentally on you. You already know if you want to win, if you want to get this win you think you deserve, you got to go the long distance here, and that's gonna be mentally taxing on you.
Certainly when you know that your chances of winning Prem hang in the balance of one single map. You know, it's really, really tough to take these 2 initial L's in the first 2 maps, particularly when the more convincing sort of loss was on your pick. But they are going into yet another one of their picks, so that should elevate their stance just a little bit more. But let's just hope that they've got something that they can pull out of the bag. They've thought about it a little bit more, and they know what they want out of this third map.
Yeah, looks like the viewers right now on the Twitch predictions that are still going on right now are still favoring 4Toast. I think, understandably so. They look very confident so far in this match here, certainly, but maybe there's some Ora Elektro believers here in the chat still. You can still vote if you look to the right side of your screen. It should be more of a note for you guys to find. It's going to be a tough one to come back from, and I guess as I'm hearing some pregame headshots running out, I was a bit surprised by the lack of snipers this game, but I guess it makes sense, right? Even with talented people on the sniper classes, like Credit, for example, here in this match. The pace of the games really didn't allow for much of it, right? This was not 2 teams willing to play slow here, but obviously one being a lot more happy about it than the other.
Yeah, of course, we did see that there's certainly opportunities to go sniper, but what these teams have been relying on really, really heavily is the amount of momentum they can get out of winning a fight decisively. And sniper just isn't there in terms of that. They're not able to drive far forward enough to justify the sniper, even if they do pick up one, perhaps two frags. But I think maybe this is Snakewater probably a little bit more likely to see it pulled out of the bag, and it might form one of these two teams' game plans here. But yeah, as you touch on, a pretty heavy weighting in favor of 4Toast on the predictions. I'm a big Ron's fanboy. I mean, 4Toast, they're legends of the game, but I love watching Ron's play, and I'm still hedging my bets all in Ora Elektro all the way.
I mean, he only has the pressure of the entire French player base on his back, I guess, right?
That's nothing,
Yeah, that's not a big deal, right? There's only very many people that want to see these guys succeed on Ora Elektro's approach. But then again, I guess there's me on the other side as well, so it goes either way there.
Yeah, of course, players on the side, 4Toast, a lot of them have, double figure number of seasons in Prem. A lot of them have been in these grand final situations before. And they've got to be laughing to themselves now with this two map advantage, and they're going to be able to keep their head cool and hopefully not get too far ahead of themselves.
Yeah, I really should have looked this up beforehand, but is this the first time Neo would win a Premiership Grand Finals in all his years?
Oh, I have actually looked that up.
Ooh.
And it would be. He has played 11 seasons of Prem, and he is yet to win a Grand Final.
Well, for a man of his talents, it would be well-deserved, but still has to earn it here at the end of the day. So we'll see if they're able to do that here. If Ora Elektro can mount the impossible comeback, 3 maps back-to-back, have us all in here for the long haul, and who else to bring you that action other than eepily and Bumfries?
We're back. We're here. We're good to go. Honestly, after the last couple maps, I kind of have no choice but to root for Ora, because I really want to see Viaduct between these teams. That would be like the next map. I really want to see Viaduct. I feel like that could be really, really interesting. And also, I mean, it's a best of 5. A 3-map best of 5 is always a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, I love to support the underdog. I love to not see 3 maps only in a best of 5. So I'd love Ora to come out on top, but from what they've been showing tonight, I can't put my faith in it, eepily. 4Toast, they clearly have so much more experience. They've been kind of running over it. At least on Reckoner, even on Gullywash, despite it being close, there was never a moment of the game where they were behind. It's going to be a tough one. What's the win condition for Ora? What do they need to step up to get this first map on the board?
Honestly, I think it's going to come down to these mids so much. Really string them together, boys. Make it happen. We'll find it out as we start now. 3rd map of the night. 4Toast leading both maps so far in their hands. So if they win this, they would have won absolutely everything right now in these Prem Grand Finals. This mid is going too aggressive just yet, waiting for some opportunities. Good high ground being taken by the side of Ora Elektro, taking a lot of damage for their troubles though. So here's a nice position to get into. Maybe he can play a little bit of a war of attrition. Neo's trying to get aggressive, not really hitting those shots. Tomas goes for a deep bomb towards Tron, gets a good bit of damage, not quite getting it all until he does, which makes things really sad now. The health not looking fantastic. Ron does at least manage to trade things out. This is going to be scrappy fights basically everywhere. Eames, he's going to get cleaned up now. Credu wants to keep hitting these shots, but Yeehaw has been activated a little bit. He's forcing forward. Somehow doesn't connect towards Tomas. How much does Nevo? 65 HP. Lucas isn't healthy at all. Nevo could look to keep on going, and he does. This is technically possible to keep on fighting. The spawners do come in much faster for the side of 4Toast, so...
Ooh, squeaky bum time as he flubs his jump, but... yeah, doesn't want to take on 2 soldiers at all. And I want to say, I mean, I don't think there's any world where Tomas should be allowed to do that on that mid, although we are coming in for a re-push mid-fight. I can't really speak too soon. Lucas is still down, so 4Toast are just going to give it up eventually. But yeah, Tomas had a mid where he pretty much solo-bombed the medic, used all his rockets, managed to reload one, still killed the medic, still didn't get killed, walked out lower, and then came back in and get 2 kills. There's no way he shouldn't be denied, at least at some point in that mid. He managed to live all the way through it. And of course, I'm going to shout out Lucas as well, who did such an incredible job of damaging the height so much. We kept seeing Ora, they kept bombing in onto the height. There is a bomb from Ron's right now into second, but he gets destroyed.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they kept trying to take the height, and every time Lucas just got them so low, they had to walk back for arrows, and from there, you know, there's not much you can do in the mid if you're just having to play around your own heals so much. The counter-sack is in. Again, it's completely minced by 2 scouts.
Well, you know, they're giving it a go. This is the part of the game where you gotta sit around a little bit, send in your solo soldier sacks, and basically just bully their logs. We do see Lucas just trying to sticky out Trum, just preventing him from walking any further forward than he absolutely needs to. Basically, all you really need to do on the demo class at that point, you know. Oh, Hugo does. Over says welcome, does get taken down towards the flank, so nope, he's gonna be dead, and keep things going just a little bit. Pappy, oh, he wants to go for the sweet shot. Bombs his dog in.
Oh well. Completely give it up. Pretend it never happened. Don't even go for a sack afterwards. Just
Nah, don't
no
even
one saw
bother.
it.
Who cares?
But yeah, much slower than the pace we've seen so far tonight. I mean, we're 3 minutes in. No movement as of yet. Still even on this mid. At least Ora are in control of it. It seemed like that has been a consistent failure of theirs throughout the night.
Yeah, definitely, you know, it's nice for them to kind of be getting on the aggressive. Speaking of which, Hugo just gets annihilated, because stickies are on window, because it is Snake Water, and therefore there are stickies on window. Ron's going to get taken down as well, though, so actually, this is suddenly a lot scarier. Only one projectile class in the form of Eames.
Look who's
so
behind, creating
Oh.
free force, runs through kitchen, even manages to live, gets behind. They're not even leaving, they're just taking the Uber in anyway. They are going so deep. Can they manage to save Lucas? No, they don't. But they're at least going to get control of mid. In fact, the re-push is in.
Ooh, this is going to be a scrappy little fight. This is huge work from Neo right now. Defending Domo like an absolute champion, and just being aware of where Hugo's going as well. That was honestly a little bit scary for a couple seconds there. I think he's going to be picking up Eames as well, so this is just looking pretty fantastic. Hugo on the backlines, I don't see that he's going to do a great deal, I'll be honest with you. They've got advantage, they're looking happy, they're living their life. Oh no, he's shot the scout. Oh dear.
Yeah,
wow.
Eames still down, also up ahead, so 4Toast getting a nice clean path to victory, unless Yeehor hits something crazy in cheese, but he's been bombed by Pappy and gonna have to turn his tail and run. Will he manage to live? Nevo's gonna lose his life, getting caught there in lobby a little bit too late. And there is a very small advantage. They could try and bust left side here, maybe see what they can do, if they can clear these stickies off of a pick. Instead, well, don't mind me, they're doing the exact opposite. They're kind of waiting around on right side. They just use it through. It's a tiny advantage.
God.
Trum gets in 1 second. He does now have his own Uber. There's not really anything to be said for 4Toast here. As they do kind of bust the other side on a re-push type attempt. Toe, though, just sinks 2 rockets into Trum's forehead at the exact same time. Easy instant kill. Ora are gonna get out of last, but at least there's the saving grace of finding Trum there at the end for 4Toast.
Yeah, it seems to be just such a consistent thing for Ora, where, like, you know, they'll get themselves into such a nice position, but then they'll kind of lose Trum right at the very last second, and it's like it's great for them not to be on last, but the problem is the heals are now going to be spawning earlier for the side of 4Toast, so they'll have just enough Uber advantage to push with. So it's like they managed to get to second, but they might not even be able to hold that. They need to be very, very aware of their positioning, because, you know, even a 20% advantage, if you just jump deep off it, you know, could basically just annihilate people before they get through the doorway. But then you also can't let them take it for free, because then it's even worse. Those stickies, though, taking down Neo actually might buy Ora just enough time. It's gone down to about a 12% advantage. So actually, yeah, literally that one frag, it's just going to stop 4Toast from going into grass.
Yeah, it buys them more than enough time. They can't really trust to take their Uber forwards without that, but in fact, this kind of a double sack into Saw. Maybe they weren't expecting them to be that close, and in fact they get forced for their own troubles, going a bit far forwards there. This is really terrible for Ora Elektro. Thomas might go down at the end of it, but he's managed to pop Trum out to get caught by the Uber. Just enough of his effort doesn't go to waste, and now they're going to collect so many frags here up on second. They've used the Uber for it, but it's so worth it. They get to recycle this ad. They force the other team back to last. They might even be able to bust left here. The spawns aren't up for another 4 seconds.
Yeah, they're going for it. They're trying it. They feel like it's definitely a good idea. There's the sniper. Gun has gone down right now. Nevo trying to hit those all-important shots, and importantly, that is going to be 4Toast just backing up for the second. Maybe they could have just walked all the way in, but they're going to say, you know what? We don't need to. We're going to keep it chill a second. We're going to play the ad.
They didn't get enough depth before the spawns came up. There was... They've made the wise call just playing the advantage here. It's still a 40% ad. They're ready to climb up to the shutter, take this one forwards. Everyone on Ora already on the opposite side, kind of preempting this. If it gets spotted, they might actually change sides. Thomas has bombed through. The ad is so small now. The gun goes down. Yeehaw kind of tickles the point, but the Uber is up for Trum now. There's chaos though, as Pappy comes in and gets the force, and now they're just recycling it again. They run out to second, and they'll have an even bigger advantage to use if they can manage to hold on to it here.
Yep, they will. They're trying to keep second just a little bit. Importantly, with these 2 players down, actually, they do actually have to give up the point. Lucas didn't get the memo. He could get caught out. Yeah, he was way too far ahead. You do see Thomas bombing all the way in, getting a lot of damage. He's going to be able to combine with his players to get quite a lot of frags, but it's going to go down. Uber has now been used on the side of 4Toast. Things are looking pretty decently for them. They are splitting just a little bit. Hugo on the back line is going to make things annoying. And the repush is looking very good for the side of Ora Elektro. Hugo potentially could catch them all the way towards Choke right now. He's directly above them, but they're going towards Kitchen. Oh,
yeah, they managed to clean up the frags anyway, and they still have this Medigun advantage. Hugo, nice rocket directly onto Kredu, putting him down to about half health, but he doesn't die and manages to get his own frag for his efforts. They're running this deep, but they don't quite have the Uber yet. This could be a disaster. Oh, Nevo's managed to stay himself alive, but they need to... No,
94%!
No!
Oh, God, just get the Uber. It's so sad to see almost the exact same as before. Now Neo's just on the backline solo capping, taking 1v1. Nevo versus Neo, okay. We've at least found out that Nevo is the alpha player, but it's such a missed opportunity there.
Yeah, I mean, they ran it so deep, as if they had Uber. It's almost like Nevo was screaming to pop, but Trum's at 80%. As soon as either one of them takes damage, it's completely over for them. And that's exactly what happened. Trum takes damage, he has to walk back, he gets separated from Nevo, he never gets the Uber, and now we're in this disastrous situation where they're going to end up back on their own last after what could have been pretty much them on the enemy last. Hugo in for a sack attempt, gets one nice rocket onto Domo, but it's surfed more than cleanly. And now they do wrap up that second cap and get into lobby.
Yeah, they've delayed just enough right now inside of Ora Elektro, 90% for Trum. So the Uber is going to come up basically any second. He's playing in spawn this time, because he's like, aha, you're not going to get me now. But that does mean that all these players are just going to stand on the point.
Aha, you're not going to get us now if you can't kill us. Surely they won't clear stickies and stand on the point. Spit cereal.
Oh, what a sad way to lose the first round. This is not a night for Ora Elektro. 20 minutes left in the game. Go on, they can do things. Maybe they'll be lucky with you taking the mids.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. They've got credit. They're just going so fast. 4Toast all in with 6 players across the point, and they're catching everything. The bombs are now coming out though behind. Domo's going to get cleaned up. Never mind. It's all going Ora Elektro's way. That looked so good for 4Toast at the start, but I suppose there was enough of a scatter for Ora to get on top of this. Maybe they were lucky. Maybe it's the me not even understanding what happened on the mid factor.
Happy's still behind. He's being a little bit annoying. It's fine. He's been cleaned up now, so it's going to be not too bad for side of Ora. Mid is theirs. They do have a player advantage for a little bit. Possibly could look to move towards grass if they want to. Try and sneaky peeky. They know they'll have to deal with Lucas, but maybe they can send some soldiers around, do some kind of shenanigans. They want to try and walk in. Trum is importantly getting quite sticky off. Nice pipe onto Nevo to be taking him down. Soldier all the way in the background, but it's Yeehaw who just walks in, takes down Dome. This needs to be just a runaway situation for Ora. You have this Uber advantage. Do not overstay your welcome.
Yeah, they are just...
They've overstayed their welcome! No! He just walks through the flank, and again, such an opportunity. Are they going to lose Eames now as well? They will, because Creddy's just hitting everything.
Yeah, I think this is a really fundamental misunderstanding of, like, how Uber works. I mean, it may say 90%, but until it says 100%, you have 0. It's not really a percentage thing. It's you have 0 Ubers or you have 1 Uber. And if you can't use it when something like that happens to you, you're just gonna die. I mean, like, who cares how close to the Uber you are? You don't have it. You get destroyed. They are now busting in 2 seconds here. There's nothing happening for them, though. 4 players getting cleaned up. Lucas and Domo, only ones left alive on grass here.
Okay, this is now, again, a big opportunity. Importantly, Domo was disconnected a little bit. Ooh, Lucas just about escaping right now. This is going to be Ora Elektro getting this definite cap onto mid. They don't deny any of the forwards, though. It's a little bit sad. If they denied, like, those 4 forwards, that could have been absolutely huge. But instead, they're going to have to be content just making this a little bit equal. 17 minutes on the clock. They are a round down, but they are, you know, they're getting themselves some nice opportunities. If they can just string a couple things together, very much can equal a round.
Yeah, they need to get their head through the door here. They need to stay alive in this game, and all throughout all 3 maps so far, they've never been around ahead of 4Toast. They've been playing on the back foot the entire night. We need to see them at least take the lead once to even have a shadow of a doubt at convincing me that they can win this one tonight. They've done it before in the upper bracket final, but they just can't manage to repeat the magic, it seems.
No, definitely looks like a night and day performance. Previously, Ron does go in. Oh, he lands towards Domo, gets 0 damage.
Pretty good.
Not bad, not bad. Good trade.
Alright, we'll see if there's any counter-sack to come, or if 4Toast are just happy to kind of sit around with this 1-round advantage. Ron's is already going to be on the spawn, so their time for it is kind of elapsed. But, I mean, they're more than comfortable. They haven't really been challenged tonight as of yet.
No, exactly. You want to... Yeah, it's never really felt like the Toast is kind of the ones being pressured, they're always doing the pressuring. We do see a nice little position being taken. Oh, nice little pipe there for Eames. He's trying to just buy as much space towards grass for the rest of his team. See if they can walk in a little bit. Soldiers jumping in once again. Hugo trying to do a little bit better. Oh, Medi goes straight to the air. Not quite connecting that shot. Domo goes down to 28 though. The rest of the spam's just not quite enough. That was a little bit spooky, but they're just gonna hold it.
Yeah, they just about managed to keep on to that. Eames had a sticky so close to Domo's feet, but he just manages to scarp around the corner. So, I guess they are capable of nearly getting something. If we can see a repeat of that, would be nice. There's only so many times it can't work, right?
Yeah, well, like, this is it, right? Eventually, they will find success, because this time it's very much for Toast not really looking to go on the aggressive. They're happy just to stand around, so Ora just keeps getting attempt after attempt. At some point, they will hit 2 shots together.
Yep, ready towards grass to kind of see what they can manage. Nevo, he's through, he's cleared the traps, he's making space. Ron's bombs forwards, but Nevo just dies to a pipe instead. They're going to have to give up on these plans. Tomas already in position. He was very fast on that chase. Could have maybe busted it into mid, but instead 4Toast is just playing this so safe.
They are continuing not to be too worried about the timing. They are very happy just living their life. Nevo, potential come up on an off class if he wants. Yep, he's me up on the sniper. They're bored of sending soldiers in. They want to at least try things a little bit with sniper. Obviously, there's a lot you can do in terms of bombing with a soldier just to kind of distract them a little bit, then peek with the sniper as well. There's different attempts, but first shot is going to be looking just a bit towards win.
Yeah, they need to get something done sooner rather than later. He's peeking, but he's just getting spammed down. No one else is really doing anything. Nevo now taking an angle towards lower. You can't really see much though. Everyone knows how to play against this. Lucas is just putting stickies at their feet. He does hit a headshot onto Neo actually, but not enough to get the kill. And in fact, just scaring them back has secured enough space for this huge bomb. Hugo's way in behind. There's already point taken from Yeehaw. The trade now coming out on point, but there's a back cap on mid from 4Toast. They're nearly just going to get this capped up. Freddy's already more than halfway done.
Surely he won't get it. Alright, they're going to be trading on mid. There's still fights all the way towards second. They have forced a couple of these players back. It is still a 3 versus 3. Aura's not really in the position to keep on walking forward, though. That was really, really spooky times there for the side of 4Toast. With that player behind and dropping Lucas at the beginning of that Uber, might actually just be an opportunity where Ora Elektro wants to just try and walk in. But it's just only rolling out to the rest of his team, and yeah, they're going to be taking just a second to breathe. No Ubers are in play for another just few seconds. They could possibly try and go off Uber. It doesn't look like they're going to be feeling it there.
Yeah, they could have kind of dried something on.
No.
Oh my goodness. Oh, they
no.
feed 2 into Pappy.
Oh.
Hugo dies to Lucas's trap as well. And all of a sudden it completely crumbles apart. They need to escape. They need to get Trum's Uber up. He's on 90%. Pappy is already on the chase. He only has Eames to defend him. Pretty much the worst class you could hope for. But all the forward spawns come in. They just flood into Pappy. The force does come out from Thomas in the end. And this is so good for 4Toast. It doesn't really matter that they've lost 2 because both those kills are traded out and the Uber force as well on top of that. They can play this pretty safely from either entrance now. Ron's already has to bomb back. Eames walking a bit far forwards. Credu's right on his face, gets traded out. But still, it's a demo pick. It's very, very nice to have when you're on the aggro. The force does come out though. Hugo landing above the pipe.
Oh no. Oh, I see. Yeah, no, Trum is just alone towards balcony. And nope, he's walked away because it is now Lucas who is alone on balcony. This is a weird situation. Then he's hitting every pipe. I'm really not sure what's going on right now, Bum. I'm going to be honest with you. Somehow they managed to keep their medic alive. Now they're spamming a little bit. And now Trum's actually getting the frag and they're keeping control a second. What?
God knows what's been going on this entire time. Everyone is so kind of discoordinated. Everyone's nowhere near each other. Trum was fending for himself for almost half of that, it felt like. But, end of the day, he has his Ubercharger advantage to kind of get the game more
He has
normal.
one Uber, and he has used one Uber. They get in, they get Lucas, they get Thomas. This is very nice. Only 70% on the side of DuMmTm. They can get this cap and keep on moving forward. This will be looking fantastic. Yep, 16 seconds forwards means these forwards ain't going to be any worries at all. They're not going to suddenly pop up their heads. It's only going to be DuMmTm's Uber, which will get just a couple seconds now. This is a fantastic opportunity. Hugo's going for that high bomb, landing all the way towards Balk. Any frag is fantastic. One rocket, yep. Uber's going to get forced. If they can get out all alive, this could be a sick little position. Okay, they do lose 2.
Yeah,
Still
that was
not horrendous, but
yeah, it was such great pressure from them. It's just a shame that they pretty much give them a good Uber right at the final seconds by losing those 2 players. But what they were trying was really nice. Toe's already in position to counter-sack though. He's bombing in and it's much less successful. Gets taken down. The forward spawns also weren't denied by the cap on mid, which makes a world of difference actually. This is going to be a very immediate repush with the Uber ad and the player ad of Thomas being down.
yeah, absolutely. You see this player start moving towards the flank already. Lucas is all the way towards choke point. Happy does get a nice little bomb in, but it's actually opposite direction to where Trum was, so this is going to be a free take in terms of the mid right now. They are going to be getting this cap off DuMmTm once again. About to be getting his own Uber, so not enough to kind of keep this train on pushing just yet. They can do a lot of damage. Uber has been used. Yep, DuMmTm's used his as well. This is going to be a trade already. Hugo getting that one frag. And the scouts combining actually to take down Crady. That's very nice. Pappy's on a backline though. He's directly behind Trum. They completely forgot about him, but they've actually just walked all the way forward. This is so doable for the side of Ora Elektro. It's only Pappy. They know where he is. If they're feeling brave, they can just leave a scout.
Yeah, Eames is smart. Already running this to last. In fact, does turn around now. Maybe decides against it. I don't think he was gonna get the spawn camp off in time anyway, but this is pretty good. At least they're on enemy last. There's 8 minutes left. They need to find a round. It's gonna be even. Both med spawn at exactly the same time. And it's another tricky last to crack. There's gonna be the sentry gun. Obviously, Credo putting it up right in the middle. Covers all the heights, no opportunity for sacks realistically, and it's very difficult to spam.
Yeah, it's not easy at all. Trum, though, he's got his own little sleeper weapon. Hello, boys. 85% on the crit streak. This is going to be enough time. Importantly, it's a Pyro and a Sentry, so it's annoying to deal with, but it's not like a sniper or anything. Hugo's already getting space towards his left-hand side. Crit has been used. Hughes is going for the all-important play. Not quite connecting the shots just yet. Not quite connecting anything at all. Oh, what a great chance, but they just got nothing.
Yeah, it's so disappointing. When the med is playing close in that little cubby and you're playing Kritz Krieger's demo man, you're pretty much relying on him being at that comfortable, like, mid to long range. You can't really shoot a sticky straight up in the air and hope it falls back down just on the other side of that wall. And still, with no force, Domo has effectively 100% advantage here, because even if this crits comes out, if the players are invincible, it won't do all too much.
No, that is mathematically correct. So, yeah, this is going to be crits once again, going towards lower. Eames gets his stickies, and then he just dies. Uber has been used. Hugo's going down as well. They want to keep on pushing. Little bit of a scuffle towards the flankers. I believe it's Wiethoofd just tries to make things a little bit annoying. Yeah, as he always does. Really gets a frag. Drags some players back. It's not going to be enough to keep this 4Toast train on rolling. And 6 minutes 30 on the clock. That's just going to keep on ticking down. That's going to get harder and harder for the side of Ora Elektro.
And Ronz is dying for no value here on mid also. They're just kind of feeding players one by one. But in fact, now there is a coordinated kind of attempt here on mid, but it completely fails as Hugo gets taken down and Thomas takes out Trum on the complete opposite side. At least they find Domo. Yeehor, the playmaker, does manage to get that med pick right at the very end, but you know, there's only so many silver linings you can get when the clouds are that you've been losing all night. You know?
It is. It is very much what it is. Alright. 4Toast. They're happy with second. We have a bit of an advantage for Trum. Got Thomas on the Spy as well, so... Now, dude's been making things happen on Spy. Honestly, I just have a sixth sense that he's just going to do it again somehow. There's going to be so much stress, so much pressure on these players. And he's going for just the immediate decloak. He just has no interest in waiting around. And he's just directly behind Trum again. Surely someone looks. Ooh, okay. 60 damage. That's all he gets. That's all he gets. Alright. Now, they're able to start peeking towards lobby. Evo going all the way towards balcony. They can deal with a soldier combined. Take him down. That'd be looking pretty fantastic. Can't really rely on the Ubers at this point. This is looking pretty decent. Soldiers getting traded out. They're walking all the way forward. Domo is pretty weak, so he has to play in a fairly passive situation. Yep. And he loses a couple players before having to use flashes. Are going the way of Lucas, so will be just a little bit having to get pushed back right now. Does actually look like this is going pretty okay, though.
Yeah, Ora did a good job of just managing to flash all the right players at all the right time. They were so low, much lower than 4Toast throughout pretty much the entire fight, but just managed to catch them long enough to keep them alive. Now they're trying to bust into mid. There's so much pressure on the lower door, though. It's almost impossible. Nevo manages to get through time and time again, but never has enough health to move anywhere with it. And oh my god, suddenly the crunch comes through. Lucas and Domo, the two important picks, get found. And now everyone just has to regroup on Trum, absolutely make sure no sack gets through. This is the opportunity. You have 4 minutes. You really want to take this to enemy last, and you have the opportunity to.
Yeah, this is... I don't know, to drop here or to kind of lose too many players, it would be just an absolute disaster. Taking Lucas, though, that's a fantastic start, I think. It's Hugo. He's getting some good damage towards these players. Going to be forcing them back. He's got on the Domo. This is absolutely enormous Trum as well. Beautiful little surf, lovely little dodges. He wants to keep this huge Uber advantage on rolling mid. Should be firmly in their hands. Ehor is on the back lines, making things annoying. Get taken down by the combined power of these soldiers, but Uber's continually right now.
Yeah, Ehor's on his own backlines. There's two players behind, which could actually be worrying, to say the least. But oh my god, Nevo's just spotted a Lucas, an undefended Lucas, and just eats him up. There's still these two soldiers kind of causing a bit of havoc. Papillon with a huge bomb now does find Eames all alone in lobby. But he's just going to back out to his own last. Only Thomas left behind now, and he gets spotted by Yeehor.
Oh, that's good. It's huge. Lucas still isn't up. They don't actually have stickies anywhere near towards point. They can play towards the point 100% right now. They look like they want to go for the frags. They force these players all the way towards the spawn. Neo has gone down. Still no stickies. It's Pappy having to deal with it himself. But this is looking fantastic for them. Everyone now going towards the point. They're just crunching all of these players. It's not enough. And this is Ora Elektro. They're back in the game. 2 minutes 30 on the clock. And they've equalized.
Either team could still take this map, or we could be seeing a golden cap, first one of the night. It's very, very worrying here. It takes a lot to be down all this time, finally equalize it, and there's this opportunity on the mid fight. If it all goes wrong, it's all for nothing as you get immediately wiped back to your own last. So it's all on to this mid, really. We'll have to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, it's going to be so important right now. There's 2 minutes left on the clock. We do see soldiers bombing on in. Domo is going down pretty weak now as well. This is looking pretty
huge
decent,
from Yeehor.
Yeah,
they should back out now. They should definitely get out, keep this med alive, and try and repush. Oh, but it's so difficult. The crunching players.
Oh, this is so much on Nevo. They managed to get all the way forward, but no, it's going to be Cred who just walks through. Nevo and Trum both going down in that last couple seconds.
Yeah, I mean, they got so much damage onto Domo. Yeehor ran through enemy kitchen, got the flank on, got the med pick, and it was such a beautiful mid if they just leave there and then, but instead they hung around a little bit too long, lost a pick, and then just got collapsed on, got chased so hard on the exit that they couldn't really play around their med well enough given how much damage they had taken by staying in on mid. So there is a crits creek here for Trum. He knows it's his only real opportunity to catch up to Domo's small advantage. But it's a risky play for defense. 58 seconds, 4Toast bombing this one forwards. They find Nevo, they find Hugo. They've lost one scout for it.
Oh yeah, this is scary. Importantly, Domo doesn't quite have his Uber yet, but he actually gets baited into just trying to go for Creddy right now. This is not looking great. 38 seconds left on the clock. This is, like you say, an Uber versus a crit. Hugo and Nevo just only coming up right now. It's going to come all the way down to this. Trum's had to use his crit, but Uber's been used as well. They need to get something off of this. Eames going down to this one soldier would be heartbreaking. That's
20
seconds. But he has had to resup all the way. 20 seconds on the clock right now. These players on the side of 4Toast, they're not looking fantastic in terms of health. Yeehor getting that frag is all important. Creddy playing towards the point. He's going to have to bring these soldiers all the way down. He gets a lot of cap time. This is still scary. But Ora Elektro, they are weathering this storm. Frag after frag. It's just Domo. It's not enough, and we're going golden cap.
Ooh. That was an absolute butt clencher when we see that crits on defense with the Uber against them. I thought there's no chance they hold on to it, but thankfully there wasn't really anyone in the Uber but Pappy, and he didn't really have anything to shoot either, as everyone else was on the opposite side of the points. They did just manage to hold on for long enough for their players to get out and block the point there. Very, very close one, and it's still not over. I mean, it's not even a win for Ora Elektro yet. They need this golden cap now to stay alive in the grand final.
Yeah, this is like for Ora Elektro, they are just being pushed to their absolute limit. They were a round down for pretty much the entire map. Then they just about equalize it with a couple minutes to go. Then they just about hold off at the end to go to golden cap. And now they need to win this golden cap and then just the next two maps as well, you know? It is hard times.
Yeah, Pappy's asking what the rules are. Obviously, it gets changed pretty often how we play golden caps around here, but if anyone in chat needs to know, they're going to play one round. If someone wins the round, they win the map. If it goes for 15 minutes and no one has won, then they're just going to play a mid-fight, and whoever wins the mid-fight will win. And in the case that any of those are 4Toast, it's going to be the end of tonight's grand final. They are at match point right now with 2 maps already. Ora needs to win this one to stay alive somehow.
Oh, it's stressful times. I mean, I'm getting stressed out. I'm not actually playing the game at all, and yet I'm pretty stressed out watching this. It's going to be, I don't know. All these players just need to take a moment to breathe, relax. The thing is, like, it's starting to happen. I feel for Ora Elektro that they're starting to make some of these things happen. I feel like Yiho's been really quiet, like the first couple maps, like compared to usual, right? Because Yiho usually just gets like 40 frags. So even doing decently is quiet for him. I feel like he's starting to feel it, but
yeah,
we'll find out.
We did have him kind of clutch up on that mid fight, and in fact, they're having a Thomas heavy to mid, and Ora Elektro knows about it. They had 2 spies checking every off-class already from the moment the round started, so they know that this is coming. They're going to have to play around it somehow. We'll see what they elect to do. Thomas up on the Puta on balcony.
Yeah, it's going to be annoying to deal with. He is playing all the way towards point. Hugo, he's that first frag. A lot of damage being towards point now. Lucas has gone down, but this is still more and more and more for the side of 4Toast. They need to start leaving. He's going to get caught out. He is not long for this world at all, and Trader is on the actual hunt right now. Will have made a prediction they went towards lower. Will just about start making his way there, but scout speed should mean that Trump could just about get out. Only really if Happy could do some crazy jumper. That's not going to happen. Not at all. Trump is going to escape with his life.
And let's see, they want to contest second actually. They have some spawners, but they don't have Eames. They are a bit late to it as well, but it looks like they're still trying to do something. They do just now get out of lobby. And they have to hold on to this last. They've been managing to do it all night, but this is the one that really, really matters. Thomas still up on the heavy. Heavy can be so destructive on these last pushes, particularly after a trade comes off. He just has free reign to shoot out any of the soldiers who are kind of maneuvering around. So we'll see who makes the first move. Do Ora try and get off their own last, or do 4Toast aggress and try and finish this off here?
Yeah, here we go. Yiho, he is on the sniper. Can we start moving towards this right-hand side? Possible to catch some players unaware, but at a certain point doesn't seem super likely. Oh, Nevo's just walked all the way in. He's got to... They've basically just capped solo. This is still an Uber trade. This is actually insane right now. 5 versus 4. Pappy's getting all the way towards the point. They have the height. These players having to stand on it. They've got to block it as much as they physically can. It's just not going to be enough. They've just crushed them.
No one was watching drop down, and Thomas just runs through it on heavy, almost gets all the way to the point by the time he even revs up his gun, and from there it's just destruction. They get so much cap time on the point, completely take Ora Elektro off guard with the heavy and cap time straight in their face, and there's just no coming back from that. Ora cleanly dispatched of by a 3-0 by 4Toast, never once going behind in the score on any map. This was a masterclass.
Yeah. Absolutely huge stuff for 4Toast. Obviously, it's kind of like their own little bit of a comeback story. As much as people predicted 4Toast to win the season overall, and they did get top seed throughout the season, their playoff run before now didn't look all that fantastic, but they have absolutely blown away their competition. They have played just exceptionally this entire grand finals, and firmly deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, even if there had been an upper bracket advantage, there still would have been no say in this game for Ora Elektro. I mean, just what a complete difference we've seen between last week and this week from 4Toast. Incredible turnaround. And, it was to be expected from the very start. I never doubted these guys. They've got all the Prem wins in their pockets already, and they've just taken another one. So, for the last time tonight, ladies and gents, I'll throw you over to our analysts to see if they have much more to say.
Yeah, touched on pretty well there. Taking it in 3 maps, it did 4Toast a real stark comparison to what we saw in the upper bracket finals, where they lost 2-0 to Ora Elektro just a week ago. Keeping it really tight ahead the entire race. Their pressure was really, really immense, and they just did not give Ora any room to breathe whatsoever. And just played their game out entirely there, DuMmTm.
Yeah, it was, again, a very different game from the other ones we talked about. It was the one game to really slow down a lot as well. It really felt like 4Toast just it's getting late as well, right? You just want to play it safe. You slow things down. It's on the lead. You just play the safe game here for the potentially final map. And for a little while, it worked quite well. But Ora found the opening, and with only a 1-0 lead, slowing down can be dangerous. If there's just one mistake here, they got the round win and blew it open to the golden cap here. So it just came down to a nail biter of the match.
Yeah, we did see in the early stages of that game that after 4Toast got one round up, they were pushed in the second round onto their second, and they were quite content with just letting Ora run the gauntlet, trying to sack over and over again. They just kept allowing the players to get in, kept shutting them down. And then as soon as there was a little bit of overextension, just a few players out of pause, Papi was there, Thomas was there, and they just piled forward, just completely crunching them and being really dominant when there was a fail push out of Ora, and just constantly on the front foot again, going from strength to strength between the maps here.
Yeah, obviously we can't forget to talk about the actual game-winning play at the end as well, the heavy to last and also to mid, of course, first of all, here as well. And we talked about it quite a bit before we came into here. It's like, it doesn't even matter how good it is on paper, right? It's just unexpected. It's a huge change of pace, and it just threw them a huge wrench in the plans for the mid-fight, and they just could not commit over the point without there just being this huge damage sponge in the way of everything they were trying to do. And well played with the force into last as well, just threw it all in there and continuing on, just keeping up the pressure like we've seen in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, big chunky boy came in and saved the day. And speaking of big chunky things, let's have a look at these damage numbers in these logs, DuMmTm.
Yeah, well, I mean, a little bit lower maybe on the average damage here in some regards. This is obviously combined, I believe, from the golden cap as well, so that ups it a little bit again. Was a quick golden cap here, so just a lot of DPM rained in from that alone. But game slowed down at times as well, obviously to 4Toast's favor for the most part here. They just played the game smart rather than hard for periods of this game and just took it from there.
Yeah, looking at these kills as well, you can see the positions that 4Toast were in, allowing Ora Elektro just to keep coming into them over and over again. Papi, Credo, and Neo both sitting around the sort of 23 kills and 15 deaths, which is pretty huge for a map that had this tight of a scoreline. Yeehaw as well, going 27-17 on that flank scout is absolutely crazy, but ultimately wasn't enough for them. So team coming into this grand finals with the sort of advantage after winning that upper bracket failed to clinch it out there.
Yeah, once again, both scouts on the side of 4Toast as well, performing incredibly well, putting on one hell of a performance here to just clean up everything their teammates are delivering. And clearly the calls worked out well. And if the calls work out well with your pocket also performing as well as Papi does, that's just great, right? That is something that's very difficult, I think, to accomplish for a lot of people here as well. Main calling while also just performing incredibly well at the same time. Something that goes unnoticed a lot here. But it is really what makes the difference between a good and a great team here. And 4Toast just really nicely adapted here. I think Bum mentioned as well already earlier. It was just a showcase that, yeah, things didn't look so pretty in playoffs maybe for them over the past few weeks, but they came out strong either way here when it mattered.
Yeah, exactly. 4Toast, the start of their season looked a bit ropey. The start of their playoffs looked a little bit ropey, but they won the game that ultimately matters, the grand final. So 4Toast leave the server as the season 39 Premiership champions, which is something to wear with pride, but yet another medal in the case for some of the players on that team.
Yeah, unfortunate ending for Ora Elektro, I suppose, after getting the win, obviously. You always hope for more. Either way, though, I think especially the newer players on the roster shouldn't feel unhappy about getting this far even and getting the silver medal in the end, especially for the short seasons, I guess, some of them had here. And we actually have someone joining here as well. Unfortunately, it won't be not a winners interviewers, none other than Eames join us here tonight as well. Commiserations.
Thank you. I expected them all to be here, damn. I guess it's only me. Look at my sad sob story.
Yeah, unfortunately. But hey, I mean, you've been here before, right? It hurts, but I mean, at least it's not you pain for you. It probably is maybe worse for some of your teammates, I suppose. First time making it 2 finals, but not making it out victorious. How was it for the boys?
How was it for the boys? I don't know. The whole night felt a bit off, honestly. It was just we couldn't really get into our groove, I suppose, which was unfortunate. Hold on, I think they want to have the the mumble, but I might refrain from giving it to them. So that was kind of sad. I think definitely our mids were bad. But yeah, we kind of didn't have anything like the flow that we had in the upper bracket final. So yeah, we always felt like we were coming like pedaling back from behind, not even just in terms of the scoreline, but like we were always just sort of down some kind of thing in a fight and had to make it up again, which was not good.
Alrighty, Meer, take over for a second. I think Papi might want to actually get in here.
Okay.
Let me find him.
Yeah, so again, commiserations. I mean, it's really impressive the sort of journey you guys have had coming through to this grand finals. Of course, you've got a couple of players that only just played a couple seasons of Prem and is putting a really good showing, and you guys looked pretty comfortable, but just couldn't get the momentum in your favor. What do you think that came from?
Personally, I really think that comes from like every time we had momentum, they would stop us by like killing one of our players or even killing Trum. Thomas got onto Trum like many times, and I think it stopped the momentum like really badly a lot of times. Every time we were like, let's go, we're winning, they would like do random thing and they would win, you know, and it would kind of kill the momentum really badly, I guess. But
yeah, we did see that a lot, particularly in the early parts of the map, where you guys seemed to like get a really decisive win. Then somebody would peek in the back lines and pick Trum off, and it was painful to watch. But unfortunately, that was just the lay of the land, and it just allowed 4Toast to get the momentum they needed. But we've got a counter representative. Papi, congratulations on your yet another grand final victory in Prem. How does it feel?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, pretty good. It was a bit scary after the upper bracket.
Yeah, were you bricking it a little bit? And what were your thoughts coming to this one?
To be honest, I think Ora were really good this season, and they're really unlucky. Like I don't really understand the ETF2L rules because they won upper bracket and they had no map pick advantage.
Yeah.
You know, when they showed me the picks, I was like, well, this is just unfair. You know, like we lost, they should have some advantage. So we kind of got like almost every map we wanted to play. But yeah, we had, you know, all kinds of problems through the season, like losing week 1 to Yak, and we have like a few communication stuff because obviously we have lots of players from different countries, and English is the second language for half our team. But yeah, I'm not really too sure what changed for the grand final. We scrimmed a few times before and like did quite a few map talks, so that probably helped.
Yeah, of course, running that gauntlet of the lower bracket for that short period of time, bit of a reality check as well. I can imagine.
Yeah, definitely.
But obviously, it's come good for you today, and you take it in 3.
Alrighty, well, the good news is the man himself, Solium, is back from vacation, so we can have a talk with the admins about a more sensible rule set, maybe. I feel like the discussion about what playoffs rule set makes the most sense comes up every season, but since we have some people here now with opinions, double LM or single LM, I guess, is probably the big question here, right? What would you guys prefer usually?
I mean, you might say that we're biased by the result, but we're not really. I mean, we said it before the playoffs. It should definitely be single limb.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
the way it currently exists, there's no difference between being second and third, and anyway, there's no benefit for winning the upper bracket final. Like the whole thing makes no sense.
There's also no benefit for winning the season. Like I mean the league part of the season. Like we won it, and if we came 4th and we'd won that first playoff round match, we'd be in the exact same situation. So we could have stopped playing it week 4, and if we'd won our first bracket match, we would have been essentially the first seed. So I don't know. It's really long for online tournament, and yeah, I think it's really unfair. Like we're a 1 upper bracket. They came into the grand final with no advantage. I don't know. I don't think that's fair. Like if it was the other way around and we won and then we had no advantage, I'd be really annoyed. Like I'd be really, really annoyed because I remember back in the day when it happened, I think it was the upper bracket team got to ban the first 2 maps and pick first, and then it was 5 maps. So I'm not sure.
The way they do it in RGL, where like they get a world map advantage when they come through upper bracket, I think it's a bit too much.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I think that's too much. But like definitely, a better pick, better.
Yeah,
draft.
you should get some advantage for winning. Otherwise,
And I think also,
there's no incentive.
The
The other
lower
thing
and
is
upper
that-
bracket is too long.
It goes on too long. I mean, so obviously Chris is on holiday now. It's pretty sad, but he didn't. Well, he booked it not expecting it to be like 3 weeks after the season. So yeah.
I think the original season, like the schedule was meant to finish on Sunday, whatever that was, the 5th or something. Yeah, the 5th. So it overran by a few days, and yeah, I mean, again, I didn't even mention it's really unfortunate you had to play finals with a Merc. So like, I know if I had to play finals with a Merc, I would be, I'd be like really annoyed about it.
Yeah, I think that's like a consequence of like when the website died a while ago. If you guys remember, beforehand, like playoffs were always 1 week. Now admins try to like make it a little bit quicker to get the schedule more tight, and it's like half a week for each, or half a week for each round of playoffs, which is just putting a tough time on everyone here. A lot of times you see like lower div players to be surprised that they like have to play like before a certain date as well on playoffs. It's a bit awkward for people here, but I mean, got to move things on in some capacity, I guess. Surely we can have a dialogue with the admins about this. Certainly, compared to some other places in the world, looks like admins in ETF2L oftentimes do respond quite a bit to what people are saying. On that topic, I guess, a topic of discussion every single season. It comes up every time. But the map pool, Reckoner was not the most warmly received map, but we've seen it quite a bit in playoffs here. How do you guys feel about it, especially with it being a map pick here as well?
I feel like it's I feel like it's a really good map, honestly. I don't know if it's better than like Metalworks. I feel it's like as good, but yeah, I definitely really like this map.
I definitely think the changes made it make just a little bit more sense, making Toxic bigger, so it's not so awful to push through, and maybe a couple of other things. But kind of, it's not. It used to be you always had to push through under because everywhere else was terrible, but now it makes a lot more sense, I think.
The only thing you want to change on that map that is really like fucking OP for no reason is like the little ledge on last.
Oh, dude, you got it wrong. That is a wrong answer to the OP thing on the map.
What do you mean? It's literally the most OP thing ever on every map.
Yeah, I know what you mean, the ledge above cargo, but
no, the ledge on last.
Last?
Yeah, well, you
on the backside of the point.
Oh, that's what you mean. I thought you meant the ledge above cargo. That's pretty OP too. No, the thing I think of Reckoner, I think it's an amazing map. I think it should be played. All they have to do is put the cap on top of the point, and the map is one of the best. Okay, the last is maybe a bit clunky, but it's better than a lot of the other maps. I don't know why the cap's on the floor. It just means you can always walk back into mid because they have someone way out of position. I said this like 3 years ago, and I don't know. I guess people, or maybe I wasn't like very well listened to back then or whatever. But they just made like this version of Reckoner with 2 crates. I don't know if you guys remember that, like the granary crates on Reckoner mid. I think all they have to do is put the cap up, and the maps are really good, at least in my opinion.
All right, that's constructive feedback, I suppose. Especially now with pro versions of maps coming out, I guess that's probably good to hear. Things are worked on as well. Maybe next season we see the new version of Gully come out as well, fully for sixes. It's been a while since the most recent version came out. I believe they already played in Highlander, but we'll see. I think there's like some weird issues with the new product as well that needs to be fixed, but otherwise, those might be nice. Just convenience fixes, I think, for the most part on those. But it's always nice to see things are still being worked on here, and the game will just continue on going. Same with the next season, of course, as well here. Any plans for that, I guess, anyone?
I don't know, we'll see.
For next season, I haven't decided. I have no idea.
Chris is not playing, right?
I think
Chris at uni, so it's highly likely he doesn't.
And Neo is not playing too. I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, I think our team is taking a break, and we'll probably play when a LAN happens, is my guess. Sorry, what's that?
Yeah, I don't know if he's on stream here yet, but Copenhagen game seems to be coming back. That's a little while from now, of course, but it's certainly something to look forward to for the future here. And even if you don't want to play next season, of course, the one after that should lead pretty much right into it.
It's not a motivation thing. It's just Lucas has a job now. I have to work full time. Domo's working full time, so we're pretty busy. But if we come back, we'll probably have a different roster. I think Toe will probably go back to Scout at some point. But maybe not. So you never know with Toe. Maybe he'll play demo next season.
Yeah, well, always good to hear. Both teams still trying to make it work, as well as Lance coming back as well. Obviously, World is slowly coming back together after a turbulent year and a half or so, but we're getting there as a society, so let's go. Maybe in a few months' time we can see everyone back in action live at Copenhagen Games. Until then, let's be a busy few months. Like I said, season 40, Highlanders just starting for the people interested in that, I suppose, as well, mostly on Kurzcast, I suppose. So a lot of things coming up here, and I guess we can just round it out with some shoutouts here. So let's start with Ian's up top.
Shout out to my team. We had a pretty good season, but it's unlucky. Shout out to Chris, obviously, who couldn't play. Very sad. Shout out to the CSGO players at the LAN venue that is in Jersey who were playing there, so that meant that he couldn't play. And shout out to the casters, and shout out to Lucas and Domo for hitting a crazy couple, 3 air shots on me at that point. That was pretty funny. It was good Uber though, anyway. But that's it.
All right, Poppy.
Shout out to my team. It's really, really fun season. New challenges. I really enjoyed it. Chris, Ora, they had a really good season. And then shout out to Condor, Yellen, Spo, Jinxie, everyone who plays Dota with me.
All right, Ron.
Gink, sorry, Gink. Oh my god, Gink will kill me. Gink, I'm banned the Market Gardener. I'm done.
Shout out to my team, obviously. I think we had a great run, especially it's my second season of Prem. Finishing second is good. So I'm happy with that. Shout out to obviously all the Frenchies that were watching the game tonight. So yeah, shout out to Scar, Deli, Alien, Amarok, these guys. A special shout out to Scruff, because even though he couldn't play this season because he had shitty internet, he really taught me how to not be to not be a fucking retard in scrims. So I guess shout out to him.
All right, before Meer will talk us out of this, few short announcements, of course. I mean, the most important one is tomorrow, 21:15, the last game of the season. Obviously, dramatically a little bit better if the Prem game was the last one, but the last game of the season will be the Div 1 Grand Finals. It's the Poles against Mandem. Fighting it out, they were first and second each in the season. I think the Poles won the previous match in the regular season between the two of them here. That will be brought to you by DuMmTm's Beta and Lightclaw tomorrow, 21:15, same time, same place. As per usual, shoutouts to, I suppose, the people that couldn't make it tonight. Josh and Ramad. Ramad got himself his IP leaked because he's very smart. So his internet provider just cut him off of internet for today because of that. Josh wanted to make it today, but he couldn't, unfortunately. Otherwise, he would have been here now talking about you guys how you played the game wrong, probably, which would have probably been good content. But maybe next season, who knows? And with that, Meer, you have the final words.
Yeah, so thanks to both teams. Thanks for everyone for watching. Put on a real show, so thanks so much for that, guys. This has been the ETF2L Season 39 Prem Grand Finals. Your winners are 4Toast, and we will see you on the next one.